Well, you got trouble, my friends. Right here, I say trouble right here in River City. Why, sure, I'm a billiard player, certainly mighty proud to say, I'm always mighty proud to say it. I consider that the hours I spend with a cue in my hand are golden. Help to cultivate horse sense, and a cool head and a keen eye. Jeff, they can try to give an ironclad leave to yourself from a three-rail billiard shot. But just as I say, it takes judgment, brains, and maturity to score in a balk line game, I say that any...
I've wanted to stage this show at Moonlight ever since I started working here in 2000. And the reason for that is indeed because it is a perfect show for a nice, warm summer evening outdoors. The first time I ever saw it was at the Muni Opera in St. Louis with Tony Randall of The Odd Couple, who was playing Harold Hill. And I never have forgotten that experience. About how beautiful it was to sit out under the stars with the trees around the stage and see a show that was so Midwestern in its feel. And when you come to the Moonlight, it's very, North San Diego County. It's beautiful, it's laid back, there's trees all around, and everyone's sitting there and having a picnic and having a social hour. And the primary event that happens in Act 2 is the ice cream sociable. So it's almost as if we are doing immersion theater without even having to try, which is why I think it's perfect for the Moonlight.
The Music Man has built into it a legitimate barbershop quartet, and I don't know any other show that does that. There are others that have tried to have some flavor of small ensemble singing, and successfully so, but a true barbershop quartet is part of the voicing of the Music Man. So that's right off the bat the thing that comes to mind. Secondly, there's some great patter songs that are reminiscent of the old Gilbert and Sullivan business. And I think those two elements define Music Man, the existence of a barbershop quartet and true patter songs.
Her own life, she's really dedicated to taking care of her mother and her little brother. And I really love that she doesn't get washed into Harold's whole scheme to begin with the way a lot of the town does. I like that she just sees a man who's going to infiltrate her life and what she's built and the stability she's built for her family and says, get out of here, I don't want to deal with you. But I think with Marion, her family is the most important thing to her in the entire world, especially her little brother. And I think the most beautiful part when she sees how Winthrop flourishes through Harold's help, and I think that's the moment when she starts to fall in love with him, and that's when she releases the barriers she's put up with so many people, because she sees someone who's going to not only make her life more wonderful, but make her family's life more wonderful.
This part has always been a bucket list role for me, and I've never had the chance to do it. And it was the very first movie musical I ever saw when I was a little kid. Right after it came out, I saw it in the theaters, and it's what got me so into movie musicals and got me into the business. I remember marching up the aisle, leaving that theater, and we had the soundtrack, and I would march around with my sister's baton, pretending I was the Music Man. So it's just so exciting for me that I finally get to play this, and I've never had the chance to do it. And I've kind of known it my whole life just from listening to the album, but I had to really learn all these lyrics. They're tough, but finally have them, and I'm excited just to play it.
True love can be whispered from heart to heart when lovers are part and they say, but I must depend on a wish and a star as long as my heart doesn't know who you are. Sweet dreams.
Yeah, does that feel okay?
Yeah, that feels great.
Sweet dreams.
One unique aspect of this production that I'm so excited about is that both David and Alessa are dancers, and so we're kicking up the Harold and Marion dance moments. They'll be a little bit more complicated than people are used to seeing. Not only that, but they're excellent singers and actors, so they're going to bring a unique, well-rounded quality to that story, and that's something people who love the show should really come out and check out, because the rest of it is done very much in a traditional manner. It's a Valentine to the period, and I direct it as such.
Trouble is this amazing song because it sets up Harold Hill's character as the ultimate con man, and it sets up the town as the ultimate recipients of his con, right? But it's also done in this awesome sort of gospel choir call and response sort of structure. So that's, again, is reflective of our national heritage. And the rhythms in it are so vital, and the way that Harold plays off the congregation, if you will, the townspeople. He becomes the preacher, and they are the congregation. He gets them all riled up, and it's just so well constructed.
It's Trouble, and it's like the original rap song, and it is tough, and you have to know it. Like you're saying, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. You know how that's going to end up, but you don't think about what's the next part of it. You have to say this whole thing without thinking, and you have to get it down so well. The problem for me is of learning it this time was that I had kind of learned it by osmosis when I was a kid listening to the album, but completely wrong, thinking what the lyrics might be and justifying every lyric. And so I had those ingrained in my head completely wrong, so I had to completely relearn it. But that is to me the apex of the show is like getting to Trouble and getting it all the way through without a hitch, which I can do.
I love My White Knight. I think more than anything, it shows that she states it in the song, but I think it's really cool to see the fact that she doesn't want some perfect man. She understands that her white knight isn't going to be a Lancelot, someone who sweeps her off her feet and life is perfect. My white knight, not a Lancelot, nor an angel with wings.
To produce The Music Man for years, it's interesting for the classic that it is. You don't see big revivals of it much. And I don't think we've had a large one in San Diego since when Lambs did one a few years back. So it's always a great one to revisit. And it's interesting that this year we've had 2 productions of West Side Story done in San Diego, because in 1957, The Music Man won the Tony for Best Musical over West Side. And so whenever I have a chance to revisit the material in The Music Man, you just wonder and realize it's just a masterpiece. It really is a well-crafted story. Beloved songs, beloved characters, and that's what makes it a classic, and it just endures.
My white knight,